You're tuned into Soul Fusion Cafe, your place for radiant wellness and soul-forward living. Join your host, Jess Juntunen, quantum healer, intuitive, and midwife to the awakening spirit, as we dive into quantum tools, wisdom teachings, and integrated healing pathways for transformation. You can live a life of freedom to be without limitation. Cozy up, grab your tea, and enjoy this hour of expansion, wisdom, and love. Hello and welcome to Soul Fusion Cafe. I am Jess Juntunen, your host for this cozy hour of exploring soul-forward living. And this week we are talking about ditching doubt. You are enough. Ditching doubt and claiming your truth. Wow. Everything changes when we dig into and dive into this topic. There is nothing that stands in our way more than our own selves and our own doubt. And it can seem so simple. Of course it's simple. Just release your doubt and everything becomes your truth. Everything aligns. The synchronicities show up and your life becomes a radiant, abundant dance of beingness. And who doesn't want that? But then, oh, there comes that doubt. Can I really do it? What if I can't? What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? What if I don't know how? What if something happens and I get stuck? And we cycle right back into the spiral of doubt and fear. And doubt is the number one way we disconnect, and it is the energy, the interference energies will seek out in order to stop your expansion and your growth. Doubt will come in and it will be piggybacking on all kinds of devices, ways of getting to you in order to keep you from shining. And look, these doubts have been there for a long time. You didn't just make them up out of nowhere. They began when you were very small and young. They likely began in another lifetime. We've been taking on this doubt for so long, it's ingrained in our matrix, our cellular matrix, our human matrix. But the inner matrix of the divine, of the love that we truly are, the union that we are, it doesn't feel that doubt one single bit. It knows the truth. So really, we want to rediscover at a deeper level our true spiritual nature and be able to lift up, above, beyond all those limitations that aren't really us, that we took on as a truth. And that's the thing, is that's why it seems easier said than done sometimes. Sure, I don't want to doubt anymore. I make that choice, but then I get triggered by something in my experience that stems from a belief system I took on a long time ago, and I'm back in doubt, like an auto reflex, autopilot. So we really need to cultivate real awareness of our energy, our thoughts, our emotions, our feelings, and really get into that space of awareness so we see what's going on with no judgment, because that's going to open the doorway to really healing the seeds of doubt that were planted so very long ago. We might not even recognize doubt as at play sometimes unless we're cultivating that awareness. For example, you maybe don't go for a dream that you have. Perhaps it's running your own business, writing a book, going to art school, traveling, having a blog, working out, whatever it is, we make up a lot of excuses maybe why we're not going for it. And we don't even realize that it's springing from doubt. Sometimes it's really clear, like, I don't think I can, I don't believe I can do it. Or sometimes we deflect it from ourselves so it doesn't even feel like doubt. Oh, it's too hard. The system is set up against me. I don't have time. My family wouldn't understand. We come up with like a lot of circumstances that we use as reasons why we can't pursue our dreams. So that's one example where doubt might show up, but we're not necessarily thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm able to do this. I mean, maybe 100% you are, it's doubt. But my point is sometimes when we are seeing things as out of our control, that's doubt too. Even if we're not saying, oh, I couldn't do it, it's because of this culture or society or my family or these different circumstances. And that's doubt. That's saying these other circumstances are more powerful than I am. I doubt my own power. Because it's really about realizing we have the power to create. And that's becoming, more of a concept that a lot of us learn in our spiritual growth or evolution, wherever you are on your journey. We learn a lot of these things, but it's different to really live it and know it, right? There's a lot of things we can know, like I want to release doubt. I don't want to doubt myself. Logically, I get why not to. I get that it's a construct. I get that this has been placed on me before I could even make the decision to trust or doubt myself. And now I get it, right? So I just want to be done with it and move on. The reason why maybe you can't just be done with it and move on is because you haven't really lived it yet. You haven't really lived releasing your doubt fully. You haven't really lived touching your inner being or power fully. Or you have, but like this has happened to me. I think it happens to everybody on their spiritual journey. You have all this awakening and momentum, and you just think, oh my God, this is the most exciting, amazing thing. I'm going to eat, breathe, live this spiritual path and exploring my inner being and bringing it forward and shining in the world. And then something might happen that you just start to be, you don't even realize it. Maybe it just happens in stages, but suddenly you're not exactly in that same space anymore. Or you got like a spiritual boredom. Sometimes that's a phase where you just, on your ascension path, become almost kind of bored because things aren't as magnificently explosive as when we started. And that kind of fed the ego, and then we got a little bored and we just quit trying. I don't know. There's a lot of different reasons. But to come back to what I was saying there, the doubt is sneaky and makes its way back in. And that's cool because when that happens, you can just say, yay, another opportunity to uncover more of the limiting beliefs and patterns that I no longer want to live. Now they're exposed. I see that there's more there, and I can dive in and do the shifting. I can grab tools and support and start shifting and uncover even more of my truth and allow it to shine ever more. It's kind of like our true self, our authentic nature or soul is a pearl, a beautiful, beautiful pearl at the center of our heart. And it's so luminescent and gorgeous and shines. Yet what's happened throughout our life is we've gone through the gauntlet of having a ego, being part of the world, being part of form, being in this density experience that is earth life. And crud builds up on the outside of the pearl at times as we navigate the journey. And that crud is like the false limiting beliefs of, You're not pretty enough. You're not good enough. You're talking too loud. Don't be who you are. Painful experiences, traumas, hurts. It all starts to build up like a crust, and it can be many layers thick, right? So as we are cleaning up our doubts, as we're cleaning up the painful past experiences that left imprints on us, like trauma imprints, as we are cleaning up belief systems and structures we took on, as we're cleaning up the goo that happened, the pearl starts to peek through, and we remember, oh, look at that, how beautiful I am. That's my true nature. And we clean and scrub until we're just shining. It's kind of like that pearl that we're cleaning off that's within us that allows us to shine ever more. And the crud and crust is not really who we are. It was just covering us up. And that's one analogy that can help us understand what happens as we walk through this life. And trauma is definitely one of my areas of high interest that I love supporting people through healing. And when we are traumatized, and look, every being on this planet has been traumatized. Look, you went through birth. What a traumatic experience as a new being to go through birth. The whole period in utero is generally extremely peaceful. The world is just this watery womb. All needs are met instantaneously. You don't experience hunger. You don't experience the shock of the cold air. You're warm. You're moving gently with your mother. You're constantly suspended and taken care of without having to ask for what you need. And the moment birth starts, however your entry happened, it's traumatic. Being squeezed through the birth canal or being pulled out from within. It's, wow, that's a big experience to go through. So everyone's been through that. And right away, as a small being, we're separate then. We're on the spiritual journey, and this is firmly what I believe and know to be true, is that we all chose to be here. And our spirit said yes, but there's a veil of forgetfulness that we pass through in order to take on this human life at this time with density. Although there are beings being born more and more often with full retention, which is amazing and an indicator that things really are shifting here. But most of us, we were born and we forgot everything, and we're this brand new being. And you feel the air for the first time, and it hurts your lungs when you breathe in. You feel hunger. You feel cold. You feel sensations with your nervous system that are uncomfortable, and you can cry to try to get those needs met. But your parents, no matter how diligent, couldn't be there the same way when you were in the womb, and it was just automatic. You had to cry out because you felt hunger, felt the comfort of being fed, felt satisfied. But all of those little experiences over time create maybe it's not trauma, but create a tension inside of that little being that we all were that says, oh, we start trying to explain things to ourselves. It can only make sense certain ways. If my needs aren't being met right away, maybe something is wrong with me. Or I'm not good enough. And then, as we grow, more and more lessons are happening. Maybe it's I deserve to be punished. I'm bad. And we're very egocentric, right? That's the nature of how we develop. So if things are happening to us that we don't like, it must be because of us. We can't really see that bigger picture yet. So we develop all these beliefs early on, and then not to mention just what you specifically go through. One on their own journey goes through. It can be brutal. it's not been an easy world for a lot of us. So the things that can happen with our own family of origin and how we are treated in our families, things that happen in our schooling and those systems, things that happen throughout your life, traumas, whether they're injuries, being fought in wars, being in a domestic war zone, watching the violence on the news. Oh my goodness, that's traumatic. I mean, really, you can define a lot of things that as trauma that you maybe didn't think so. And those leave imprints. And I kind of get really into all of this because I just find it very exciting, because there are really amazing ways that we can now not only deal with, but we can actually heal the trauma out of us. But it makes imprints in our human body, our emotions at a cellular level. Things are happening. So we want to definitely release those imprints. We all have them, and they can really feed into our doubt. Because if I was a luminescent, all creative being of divine love, something must be wrong with me if I don't feel like it. If I feel like I'm a bad person, or I'm not good enough, or I don't deserve. Worthiness is the hugest underpinning concern for our humanity right now. When we can clear up worthiness, I'm worthy of healing, I'm worthy of living my best life. Yeah, we can say that and believe that on a logical level, but at some cellular level, if you have things going on that happen to you, traumas or not traumas, anything that happened to you, any beliefs that you took on as true, they're working at the subconscious level. So it's not enough to just think your way out of it. We cannot think our way out of things. It can only get you so far. And thinking and the mind are kind of limited. They are servants to our soul, but they don't know the whole picture. So we have to really go in and feel things to release them. And there's so many beautiful ways to do that. I mean, check out some of my archives. There's a episode on trauma. If you go to self-ascensionstudios.com, you can see the archives and scroll back. There's some beautiful tools. Some of my shows have beautiful meditations. If you're interested, reach out to me. Jess at selfascensionstudios.com is my email, or check out my website. I'm happy to support you in healing that. And there are others too out there that do this kind of work. It's phenomenal. Energy healing, quantum healing, coaching, different tools that can really help, energetic balancings and healings. It's pretty amazing what can happen in a few sessions these days. And it's a very exciting time. And there's a lot of other things you can do to start helping yourself. And it's really about digging in and starting to really say, I'm going to play with this. I'm going to start believing that I really, truly deserve to live a life of radiant abundance and freedom, and to really start becoming aware of what you're feeling like, where your thoughts are coming from, your beliefs, and being really curious about it. Such a good starting place to just be that witness, be the observer. So you are enough. You are absolutely enough. And I could tell you that all day, but you need to believe it. And when we say yes to who we are, to who we really, really are, it's saying, this is who I am. And Kira Ra was saying this on a episode of Soul Mirrors that broadcast this last week in February, the first week of February 2020. Soul Mirrors, you can check it out at onenesstalkradio.com or at YouTube, official Shri and Kira, or YouTube Oneness Talk Radio. And it was an amazing episode. I co-host once a month with Kira Ra there, and Master Lady Kira Ra, she's been doing this work on the planet for a long time, and she is my sister, she is my mentor and teacher, and it's been very amazing to be on this journey and learn with her and through her, and to now share space with her as a co-host is so empowering. And she had said this amazing quote, which a dear friend of ours pointed out and wrote down, and I want to read it because it was so profound. The episode that Kira and we were talking about the connectivity of crystal and light and how we're all connected. But this quote about doubt came out. When we say yes to who we are, it's about saying, this is who I am. This is what I could do. If I could take all my energy that I take right now doubting that, move out of the way, and have all that extra creation energy available, there's only one outcome. Do you? Isn't that profound? When we say yes to who we are, it's about saying, this is who I am. This is what I could do. If I could take all my energy that I take right now, doubting that, move it out of the way and have all that extra creation energy available, there's only one outcome. Take that in. Beautiful Master Lady Kira Ra, thank you, because she just channels this wisdom, and she's truly lived it and lived self-ascension. And self-ascension really is at its core about releasing our doubt, and that is the model that I live by and that I teach others, because it transcends any religion or scripture, but it definitely takes in all the beautiful nuggets that are found in all traditions, the truth that is found, because self-ascension is a path to the truth of who we are. It's about claiming our truth. And that's how we ditch doubt. We need to claim our truth. And, there's so much we can do to claim our truth. And really, how much of our energy goes into being afraid, especially when you start not playing it so safe, right? When one is going along and, I'm pretty content right now. I have a job I like all right, and a marriage I like all right, and, I've got the things. I'm happy. And then all of a sudden, though, there's that feeling of there's got to be something more, though, right? We could have all of the boxes checked on our list even, or we're in a space where we just don't even have any of them checked, and we're going, oh my gosh, how do I do it? Either way, wherever you are, imagine if you took the energy that said, well, I can't be more, or I already have enough, I should be satisfied with what I have. It'd be greedy to take more, or, I might fail, or I might succeed, or I'm afraid of things changing. There's so many things, and they're all coming from the ego. The ego is a sly pirate, as Archangel Zadkiel says. He's a sly pirate, and the ego will always do whatever it can to stimulate your fears and keep you from thriving. It just only understands a limited picture, and it's just trying to keep you safe. It doesn't mean to be malicious or anything. It just uses what works to get us to stay playing small, to keep doubting, because the ego is just scared of annihilation, and it feels like going for our truth might annihilate us, or it specifically, and the ego can't be annihilated while we're here. We need the ego. We don't want to just say bye. It keeps us from walking out in front of a bus. It contains parts of our personality. It's a part of the packet of who we are when we're here. And it would be hard to navigate Earth life without it. Yet we don't want it to run the show. And that's what's been happening for thousands of years, is the ego has gained so much power to running the show. It's easy to see when we look on the world stage what is happening out there, right? The ego is saying, don't you dare. Don't you dare shine. Don't you dare reach for your dreams. Who do you think you are? Or whatever stories it likes to tell you. Everyone has their themes of what really stops them in their tracks. And what if we put all that energy that we doubt ourselves or are afraid to reach for our dreams, to do what we came here to do, even if we don't know exactly how that looks, but we have a feeling, a pull towards something that stimulates or sparks us in that inquisitive, awakened, passionate way. If we put our energy towards those things that stimulate our curiosity, our growth, our expansion, instead of the doubt, could you imagine what the outcome would look like? Do what serves you, lovely one. You are more than enough. And I love this Archangel Zadkiel quote. Archangel Zadkiel is just this beautiful energy. And if you're not used to working with angels or things, angels really are energies that are beyond Earth. And there's a lot of them that are here and available that are helping us. And Archangel Zadkiel came through a lot with my teachers, Kira Ra and Sri Ram Ka, when they first got together. I mean, Zadkiel still pops through, but Zadkiel really brought them together, brought all these messages through them, and it's so beautiful and pure. And Kira Ra, not only, she's not even just a channel, she ensouls. She literally brings this through her beings. The messages are very pure. And Archangel Zadkiel, he says, only doubt can disconnect you from your beingness. Only doubt can disconnect you from your beingness. So doubt itself is what keeps us from being who we are, from our wholeness. It disconnects us immediately. So imagine your beautiful heart center, and right above, where your actual physical heart is, in the center of your chest up there is the heart chakra, this beautiful center of the body that's so expansive, and we lift and live from there. When we heal and work through those foundational chakras, the root, sacral, and solar plexus, and bring them into more alignment, and that's where all of doubt really loves to reside and where a lot of our blocks come from. But as we say, I am here, I'm awakening, our heart opens into this beautiful ascended energy. When we say yes to ourselves or our lives, and it opens up this channel and pathway that goes all the way up through the top of our crown and our head, and opens up this beautiful portal of energy for us to connect. And that's something you experience, in like little blips. You probably had experiences in your life where things just, you felt that channel of energy and things were clear and you saw what you needed to do, or a situation with great clarity and wisdom. That's when you're accessing your intuition. You're in this space, you're in this zone, and the heart expands and opens into its ascended state when we're recognizing our truth, and clarity can come to us. We can be sitting and agonizing over some kind of decision we want to make in our life, and if we just connected with our heart and lifted up, then we'll automatically start getting guidance. But if we're doubting, It drops us back into those lower chakras where we're in survival. Those lower chakras are beautiful and amazing when they're in their ascended state. But when we're being triggered by our survival, we drop into the like primitive energies that are there that are saying, nope, 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 play small, don't show up, don't trust yourself, remember the bad things that happened before, pain could happen, no, don't give your power away. All these things show up, and we have the doubt enters, and it's like the heart dims a little bit. It never really truly dims, but it closes back up in a protection kind of. And it can dim. I'm thinking about what I'm saying. It can through our doubt, but our true essence never does. It's like that pearl we talked about early in the hour that we're cleaning off. So it's like we have to invite it to shine again. And that doubt disconnects us, though. We can't get the wisdom. The heart is no longer sending that beautiful ray all the way up to the divine connection and wisdom. We're not hearing it. It's like it got crooked. The foundation, like the foundation of a building, got shaky or tilted, and now the whole top is crooked, right? So our whole energetic system is kind of wonky, and we're not connecting directly with source on that kind of main line that we were, and the doubt is back. So that's why you can have mystical, magical experiences, and then the next day or the next week be completely consumed again by all of the density drama, and it just seems so far away. We almost forget the phenomenal experiences that we had with the divine very quickly if we just enter back into the realm of density, because everything is competing to pull you away from your light. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. It just happens. There's a lot of competition for your energy, because what would happen to some of these powers that feel like they're living high on fear and pain and despair? There's energies that feed on that. We're in a world of polarities. And what happens when you shine your light? It starts to affect the balance of the whole planet. You are that powerful. So there's a lot of energies that can seek to stop you. And those that are on a spiritual path or journey, oftentimes it's like a beacon for much more light to enter, but there's also the interference energy is attracted in and says, let's squash this. Let's squash this light, because that means we'll lose power and everything will come in to try to stop you. Interference energy is real, and it will try to do anything to disturb your growth and trajectory. And it usually works through your ego. It attaches to some fears or things that you have and stops you. And it's not anything to be afraid of. Just knowing and being aware of its presence is huge. You can free yourself from it, and you have to become aware. Becoming aware, monitoring ourselves, our thoughts, our beingness is the key. And not judging whatever is seen, but just continuing to be aware, because then the light of awareness is on our behaviors and our thoughts and things, and we can start making different choices about them. And it's only doubt that will disconnect us from our very being. So there's a lot of energy that's been invested by our own ego and the world as it is, that has sought to bring that interference, that doubt in to stop us. And it's like a chaotic energy that comes in, and it anchors. And when it's anchored, it can sometimes be difficult to see that it's even there. We have to really get transparent with ourselves and witness. The interference energy itself will just almost hide in a way, so we don't even realize we're getting screwed with, and we don't even realize that we're in great doubt energy, right? Like we talked about earlier, we can be in doubt and not really realize that that's what we're doing. We can be blaming outside circumstances or doing all kinds of different shuffling around, not realizing that maybe we're being messed with. And the ego just feeds on that and loves to hold on to the interference. So it has no desire to let you flourish or go. It's the ego's going to say, oh, yeah, this is the way it feels. Just humping through another day, sludging through, Eeyore, whatever's coming up. Oh, see, you're not good enough. You thought you were so spiritual and on the path, and look at you now. You're a hot mess. Whatever it tells you. And it's not true, but it's working with the ego so well to keep you from growing and shining. And you have to get really transparent. You have to really anchor in the heart. It all comes down to coming home to the heart. Feeling the truth of who you are. And the most simple way to really begin empowering yourself is hand to heart often. Bring whichever hand feels comfortable to the heart center and take several conscious breaths right there with the heart. And you will be amazed. If you do this when you're feeling doubt arising, hand to heart, taking a breath. If you do this throughout your day, morning, noon, night, as just a spiritual practice, it only takes a few moments. But just really the key is to be present, just bring yourself really to the presence and the heart and breathing. And doing this when you're feeling triggered. The hand to heart is the most powerful practice to reconnect you to your heart, reconnect you to your truth, and reconnect you to that divine wisdom and intuition that is always there, and it can disconnect you from the doubt. And the key really is to be very just aware and honest and transparent with yourself, what you're experiencing, without any self-judgment about it. The judgment will only feed more of the energy you're trying to get out of. So walking through these experiences is part of our mastery. We are here mastering being in form. Being a human is an amazing, beautiful thing. And we are embodying the very creation energy of the earth herself by being in this beautiful form, dancing with creation in this realm. And the goal is for us to truly remember our spiritual nature, our true beingness and essence while we're here in form. And look at how beautiful this planet is. And look, if more and more beings awaken and start to do that, how beautiful it can truly be being here. So we want to just do our own work, and we will touch others as we do. One being lifting into their heart and taking the steps to open up the awareness of who they are without even telling other people, your very energy is affecting the whole connection of all existence, and other beings feel it. You're modeling it. They're seeing it. They're witnessing it. They're feeling it. It makes their own seeds of awakening within them stir. You don't even have to say anything about what you're doing. You just have to be it. And you start to have so much power that you are able to shift and support the conscious evolution of all through your awakening. Well, that's how powerful we are. We hold the door open for 100,000 others when we step into our truth. 100,000 others may step into their own truth because one of us did. That's powerful. So really recognizing if something is coming at you that could be interference in any way, a key indicator that it might be is money. Money is density concept of abundance. It's the most dense way to play with the concept of abundance. And if money is at the root of something, like, I can't do it because of the money, you're being interfered with. If money is the topic of the mind, I mean, we have to work with it. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's part of this realm and how we exchange things. But if the money is the motivation, that's a big key that, doubt is at play. And you want to go into what do I want my motivation to be here? What is my true motivation? What does the money actually provide me that I'm wanting? Is it a sense of freedom to travel, to do the things that fulfill you in the world, to go to school, to whatever, create art? It matters not, but whatever your passion is, what is it that you really want to create for yourself? And get into that energy and live there. Ditch the doubt about how you're going to get there, about the money, because that piece will just automatically come when you are in your truth. So invest your time and energy and money and resources into you and what you're creating. You won't go astray. You can't do it wrong. You can't do anything wrong here. There's nothing that you could do that's wrong. You're enough. You're a creator, and you get to create whatever you want, and you get to recreate whatever you want again. If something is giving us that sense of, like, our ego feels stroked, the ego being that part of our personality self that is feeling like it needs to feel thanked for doing the dishes for our mom, like a kid, I did the dishes, oh, thank you, and your ego feels good about it. I did a good thing, and you did, not to say that you didn't, but the ego is getting that feeling of, oh yeah, I did something, it was me and I deserve, it's the ego is being more gratified, because the spiritual self just understands that these are the things that we do, and feels complete through the action of service, and the ego is what wants the gratification for the act of service, or like a revenge thing, like the ego feels a gratification from getting revenge. It can do all kinds of twisted things, right? So that can be like a key sign that, whoa, wait a second, I'm being messed with. If my ego is involved that way, it's time to detach and go back to the heart. Always come back to the heart. If we feel like we're being validated somehow for what we're thinking, our own agenda, it's definitely going to be ego motivated. If we feel like something's right or wrong, that can be us. That's interference, and that's stimulating our doubt and everything else, that there's a right or wrong way for things to happen. And I know it's like hard to jump to that level on the world stage, but there really isn't right or wrong. Those are just concepts of this realm of density and being in form. And, if some of these concepts intrigue you more, go back and listen to some of my earlier shows in my archives at selfascensionstudios.com. You'll see all the Soul Fusion Cafe archives and titles, and learn more about, this density and multidimensional living and things. But yeah, there's no right or wrong, really. And we're all acting out what we need for our own souls journey, and you can't really make a wrong decision. You can make decisions that are less comfortable and more based off of your ego than your soul, and you'll learn things, or you'll receive things. And the same goes for everybody. If you can't just source your own creative flow from within, you might start wanting to receive God or universe or source energy from outside of yourself. That's classic. I mean, that comes in when we're young too. We look to our parents and teachers and those adults in our lives that supposedly have the answers for us. And we think God is going to appear outside of us and give us the answers, the whole burning bush thing. Well, no. I mean, sometimes, you see God outside of us, but when we feel that need for God to appear, I mean, we see God outside of us all the time. When we see it within us, then it's easy. It's like a mirror. Oh, that's within me, and it's being reflected to us in the outer world. But when we seek for it in the outer world, that's the ego, that's our nervous system trained to look outside of us for the truth of who we are instead of coming back inside of us. We have to go within. If something just doesn't feel loving or sincere, that's a huge key. Your ego is at play and that you're not in your truth. Our truth is love. God is love. The divine is love. The universe is love. Whatever words you use. But the energy of pure, unconditional love is our true nature. So anything that comes from our true nature is going to have that sincerity and love and presence. Those are the underpinnings of self-ascension. Sincerity, love, and presence. We're going to have that core experience when we're tapped into our truth and our being. When we're claiming our truth, we will be in that love space, a sincere love space. If something doesn't feel like that, it's playing off of our doubts again. It's playing off of fears. It's interfering with us and our path because we're thinking this isn't coming from love. It's coming from some density emotions like fear or pain or drama. If we feel like we're less than or wrong in some way, we're being interfered with. So don't worry about what it is and why it is all happening. Celebrate that you got aware of it and make a new choice. Do some energy clearing. Do a hand to heart. Take a walk outside. Journal. Sing. Do what brings you joy. Do what brings you true joy. And the grip of what causes our doubt can be, it's not even our own story. Like we started this hour out saying this goes back to when we were small, before we were even old enough to really consciously think about what was happening. Things were just happening to us seemingly. The thing here is that we've taken on someone else's story. The story of our lineage that's been handed down to us in our family of origin. The story of our lineage handed down to us through our culture. The stories that have been told to you that you took on as truth. And look, if somebody else is going to carry more passion and energy for their story than you do for yourself, you will crumble. You will go into absolute doubt. If someone else's story is offered with more passion, energy that you're carrying for your own self, this comes from Archangel Zadkiel too. If someone's giving you a story carrying more passion, energy than you carry for yourself, you won't break free from their story. You'll believe their story that you're not enough, and whatever else. So you need to carry the passion for yourself. You need to anchor in your heart, the ascended heart. And you can break free from all stories, and that includes your past life experiences. To break free from doubt is to break free from the illusion that you could ever be less than or anything less than a perfect part of creation. You need to embrace yourself, your own truth for yourself without any doubt. We don't want to be seeking outside of ourselves for this. It will elude us, and it empowers doubt because it says the answers must be outside of me. I couldn't possibly have them. I need the right teacher, the right class, the right experience, the right circumstances to all be set up so I will believe that I'm capable of doing what I believe that I want to create in this life. Interference will enter if we are seeking outside of ourselves. We need to empower our own heart and have the discernment through that transparency of, wow, what is this energy that's coming in right now? Where's this coming from? Is it attached to somebody else? Is it attached to some other energy that's interested in being right or wrong? Is it about money? What is it about? Oh, I might be being messed with right now. That's an opportunity. And just seeing it as an opportunity. Awareness and honesty and transparency with ourselves unlocks our discernment and allows us to move into our truth. No judgment. Judgment will stop it in its tracks. That is a key step of self-ascension, is to release judgment and really do this with yourself, and it becomes so much easier with everybody else. So, yeah, your ego and these other energies will do almost anything to get power by claiming your power. But by anchoring in your heart and trusting yourself and cultivating that connection, you can break free from anything and soar higher than you've ever soared before. Stop believing whatever crappy stories your ego is feeding you, your thoughts, your mind, your subconscious, but use them as a window of curiosity to explore. Oh, curious. That's interesting. It can be amazing how much content is there. I'm still amazed, guys. I've been doing this a long time. And it comes up sometimes. Who do you think you are? What do you think you're doing? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, oh, sometimes it ropes me in for a second, but thank goodness I have all my tools, because it only takes one heart-centered breath to break free of that and lift up and out. And then I can bring in tools and resources if it seems sticky and continue to shift it out of my being. So it's no longer part of me, and no energy can attach to that and stop me from growing. Who are you to let anything stop you? When you're allowing it to stop you, then you are shutting down all of the gifts that you're here to bring to the world, because we can't feel them if you're shutting yourself down. Put the energy into where you're capable, what is possible. And if it does feel like some of the things you want to gain for yourself are way out of reach, just start with what is possible for somebody else with that dream. Is it possible for them to achieve it? Oftentimes we'll believe it's possible for someone else. Well, if it's possible for them, then it's possible for me. It opens up that possibility door a little more. We want to open that possibility door. What is really possible for me if I had everything I needed to believe in myself? What would be possible for me then? Everything, right? It's all possible. And you came here to wake up, or you wouldn't have listened to the show or be here right now. You're here to awaken yourself to the truth of who you really are. You are a divine being having a human experience, and it's time to awaken at a whole new level to that and to feel the truth of that. So I can really, my biggest recommendation is hand to heart. hand to heart often. I know I keep saying it, but it's true. Taking some breaths, giving yourself lots of love and encouragement, being aware. That is the other big key here. Oh, like I keep saying, awareness and transparency and discernment of your own thoughts and state of being, and just going, oh, curious, not judging it. Oh, curious. So try some of these out. You deserve, the world needs you. We need everybody that's here to awaken to do that. And you're going to. Your success is guaranteed. You didn't come here not to. Absolutely are going to. So keep on thriving. Keep on lifting. Keep on doing what you're doing. You will break through. Even if there comes another level where it feels hard, you will break through. And I'm here. Tap into my shows. Tap in over at Oneness Talk Radio, where there's so many uplifting podcasts and radio programs and music. There is a lot of beauty in this world, and tap into that energy because it's there 100%. And sometimes we just don't see it because we're not looking. So it's there. Find it. Look for it. Find the tools for support. Reach out to me, Jess at selfascensionstudios.com, by email or over at my website, or at Instagram, JoyLoveJess, or Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. And yeah, shoot me a message. I'd love to talk and see what we can do to support you. But until the next time we're together, I do hope you tune in, because we're going to continue diving into topics all about expanding our soul and living our soul-forward, best yummy life. And I am so grateful to be here with you. I'm Jess Juntunen, and this has been Soul Fusion Cafe. I hope that you have a beautiful, radiant day. Enjoy your moment. Many blessings, and namaste. You've been listening to Soul Fusion Cafe with Jess Juntunen. Connect with Jess and learn more at her inspiration hub, Self-Ascensionstudios.com, and over on Instagram at JoyLoveJess and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio, or over at Facebook at Self-Ascension Studios and Soul Fusion Cafe Radio. Thank you for listening. See you next week. Namaste and many blessings.
Oneness Talk Radio. Hip, fresh, and fun. Discover your positivity portal 24/7 and experience unique talk radio from around the planet, perfectly mixed with music that enchants your soul. At a moment where everyone is being challenged to stay awake and release fear, OnenessTalkRadio.com is here to remind us all of our divine mastery. Imagine the activating power of intentional oneness and universal healing available at any time. With shows in multiple languages and formats, relax and explore. Our commitment to uplifting music from superstars and fresh talent, combined with your favorite shows, will inspire you to stay all day and soak in the gift of connection. Once you experience our signature oneness moment, in only 3 to 5 minutes, your heart will expand as miracles unfold. OnenessTalkRadio.com. One world, one voice. Expand your vision.